Okay, and we're live. Time for some more qualifying watch along podcast. And yeah, and obviously you're joined today by Sarah. Hello, Sarah.
Hello, Ellen.
Oh, I managed to wave the right way this time. Right, Hungary. So, quick update. It's a dry track, but it's been wet for FP3. Vettel is trying to help rebuild his Aston Martin, and there is a whole host of upgrades for most of the cars this weekend. Could be interesting, couldn't it?
It could be.
And the Dutch have already started with the orange flares. That took long.
Yeah.
Hey, Pedro's in the chat. Hello, buddy.
Hello.
Oh, so I'm not going to ask you because it is way too early to talk about pole and whatnot. But any hints already on the bottom five first out?
Oh, the bottom five first out.
That one you can sort of base on form from the last few Grand Prix, can't you?
Yeah. I reckon maybe both of the Astons. A Williams.
So Latifi.
Probably. Oh. No. Because sometimes some of the drivers surprise you.
That they do, and that is their job.
Or disappoint you. I know, maybe an AlphaTauri.
I thought that disappointing remark is a bit of a poke at Mr. Leclerc to all Ferrari fans. Disappointing.
Let him know last week. That scream. That was, yeah.
Yeah, that was not good. That was definitely not good. Yeah, my personal view is I'm going to pretty much agree with you. I'm pretty much thinking it's going to be a Gasly or a Sonoda out in Q1, or hopefully not. Oh, that is black clouds.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's not going to be Danny Rick, because damn, he's in need of a good performance, but
yeah,
we'll see. I had a conversation with Pedro before this all started about some of the upgrades that have been going on for the cars, and there are so many upgrades for a lot of the teams.
Yeah.
Although Ferrari haven't, so that's interesting. This is a high. Go on.
Anyone surprise you with the upgrades they bought, or
Just the scale of the Haas upgrade, which is apparently on K-Mag's car today, and yeah, it's a big upgrade for the Haas. Although to me they look identical, so that's interesting. I'm a little bit surprised there is not even a single Ferrari upgrade. I mean, Red Bull only bring one themselves. Hungary is a very unique track. It's just very narrow, very single track and very high downforce. So maybe they won't bring anything for this race. Some of the big teams. But we'll see if this Haas upgrade can actually move it forwards. If you get Mick hitting the same time, that makes you wonder why they bothered upgrading it. But we'll see.
True.
Do you have any endearing memories of this track by chance, or is it just some people hate this track because they only remember boring races?
Yeah, I don't know. Nothing springs to mind like straight away.
Well, the only thing I'll say is we had the crazy race last year, but that was because of the wet weather, so that's an anomaly. But generally speaking, there's been very average races around here. And I mention this every chance I get. It was in '97. We had Damon Hill in an Arrows lead like 3/4 of the race and lose the race on the last lap.
Oh,
So, yeah, I posted that in the Discord. It's well worth a watch if you get 5 minutes, but
definitely.
it's a heartbreak story, that one. It still hurts to this day. It's only like
I
25
guess
years
it's
ago.
because it's so narrow. You just got to follow the car in front, wait for them to make a mistake, and then capitalize on it.
Yep. I caught the end of W series but before this, and that's exactly how it seems.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah. I mean, if Jamie Chadwick can't pass around there, then that says a lot.
Mm.
Okay, Verstappen up to a 19.0 first lap.
Nice.
Bottas only 2 tenths behind Hamilton, and Russell basically a tenth behind Hamilton as well. Wow. Ooh.
Mm.
Perez 8 tenths behind Max. That seems a bit odd. There is talk that Perez is struggling in that car now, that it's being developed, and the theory being that it's very much towards Max.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that's a concept worth pursuing for, like, particularly Red Bull and Ferrari? Focus car on your main driver?
Mm. I mean, we see teams do this, but then again, we see. Well, with Ferrari, didn't they put the upgrades on Carlos's car to see if it worked or if it didn't before they did it to Charles? Some teams do the reverse. They do like the second driver, test it out. If it works, if it doesn't, then the main driver's, I guess, not affected if it doesn't work. But then if it works, they just put it straight on the car.
Yeah. I think it depends on the philosophy of the team. As you
Yeah,
said,
exactly. But like with Red Bull, I think maybe they focus a little bit too much on Max. Can definitely tell.
you can tell it's Perez is suffering, can't you?
Yeah.
And that is one reason why Ricciardo got out of there. So you can see it, can't you?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a very mixed bag. I mean, it can really benefit one driver. Norris into P2. That's a good lap.
Mm.
It affects one driver quite badly, and the other one gets a great shot in the championship. So swings and roundabouts as far as Red Bull are concerned.
Definitely.
Pedro asks, how was the W Series? It was interesting. It was a late
Alright.
safety car. This track, though, for that grade of car, doesn't lead to good racing. It was fine.
Yeah. And it's good for Powell to get a win. Last season she got quite a few wins and was more in contention of it.
Mm.
I think she's just been struggling with the car and Jamie just storming away with it.
Yeah,
I feel like at this point Jamie really needs a seat in another series.
needs an F2 drive at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's earned it. It's just that simple.
Yeah, well she's 2 times champion of it and she's doing a 3rd season. So I don't know how long she can keep going with it. She's just gonna keep winning it.
Absolutely.
Apparently they don't actually get as many super points as we thought they initially got.
And I had heard that she's not getting any more if she wins it again.
Yeah, apparently it's capped.
Yeah. So
So what's the point? She needs if she wants to be, I don't know, in the F2 or eventually F1. She does need to, I don't know,
she
use
needs to be
something
out.
else that actually gives her the points to be able to do it.
Yeah, or very least the experience and the credit she deserves.
But
'Cause
I don't know. I don't know if any F1 team in the future would, I don't know, put her as a driver.
the only teams that have historically done that are, well, Williams. I mean, they gave.
Yeah, well, she's an academy driver, but I don't know.
We'll have to wait and see. I mean, that's a whole different political conversation. So
Not necessarily that as well, but obviously you've got the current F2 stars. They're more in terms of queue, they're probably at the front of the queue compared to her, because obviously they've done the F2 season, champions of it. Like Oscar's had to wait.
hmm
It's like a backlog, obviously, because you've only got these 20 seats. You've got everyone wanting a space in these 20 seats.
yeah,
Struggling to fit everyone in.
Mm. My theory was when we had before, I think it was before Haas joined, is most teams should run a third driver and make that third driver a rookie driver that can only have up to 1 year's worth of calendar races, and then
Yeah.
you could alternate drivers like Jamie and such in and out of the cars and whatnot. But hey, that's only one idea.
Mm.
More teams on the grid would also be helpful. So you know.
True.
Okay, Perez has definitely picked up the pace a little bit. He's still a third of a second behind Verstappen and Norris. Can you see where he is right now?
Yeah, if you can carry that on, I think that sets him up quite good.
Team Lando. Well, it's worth mentioning we're doing the pre-GP tonight, so around this course it's going to be fun. It's going to be chaos, isn't it?
Leclerc struggling or something, because he hasn't seemed to really gone for it yet.
1.1. I imagine he had a not great run around the track with traffic. This track is horrible for traffic.
Yeah, looks it.
I've been watching a lot of cars in Sector 3 and they're always tripping over each other. And Pedro raises the point, even if Williams were to consider academy drivers, she's also fighting with drivers like Logan Sargent, who are performing brilliantly at the moment. So,
exactly.
and you got Oscar Piastri and all sorts. So,
She really needs to be in F2 to contend with these other drivers that
absolutely.
are probably going to step up into F1 at some point.
Yeah. I think in the last few years, there's only been one driver that's gone from F3 to F1, and that was Max.
Yeah.
Even then, that's probably, 7 years ago? And that W Series car is basically a modified F3 car, if I remember correctly.
I think so, yeah.
So, where is Danny Rick? He is 11th. So I'm keeping an eye on Danny, because I'm worried about him.
Yeah, me too. Been worried about him for a while, to be fair.
Yeah, last year or so. Ever since sort of post-win at Monza, he's kind of like being,
Should we see him maybe move to Aston, or...?
There is that theory being floated, because obviously those that don't know, Vettel has announced his retirement.
Sad.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are massively surprised,
No,
but
it's just obviously we knew the day was going to come at some point, but
yeah, I think we all thought it was going to be next year, didn't we?
yeah.
But if I were Danny, I would not be thinking Aston. I'd be saying put. That'd be my own personal opinion. I mean, only he knows if it's him or the car. Because we all know from, say, certain racing games like GT Sport, GT7, there are some cars that suit our driving style. And some cars which we were like, no, never driving that again.
Yeah.
But it kind of begs the question for Danny, if he's in a car that doesn't suit his driving style, why be there? And then again, why would you go to a team which could possibly last? Yeah, that was close between the two Astons.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's catch-22 for Danny somewhat. Pedro says, and I didn't know this, Sir Lancelot Stroll did the same thing, moving from F3 to F1.
I mean, he was probably, I guess, financially just...
I wasn't going to say it. I wasn't going to say it.
Like, oh,
Yeah, it's like...
I've got enough money.
Yeah, yeah.
You go.
A billionaire father. Yeah, he can go to F1 into Williams. Funny enough. And there's a message directly for you in the chat. Do you want me to read it to you?
Yeah, go for it.
It's from Ziggy, Mr. B. Liderada.
Hello, Ziggy.
He says, "Congrats to you. The best of luck to you. Just passing his love to send and enjoy the quali. And he'll watch the quali later. So
Oh, thank you very much,
yeah.
Ziggy. Appreciate it very much. Sending all my love to you as well.
Pedro says, "That's an experienced driver. Not sure if Lance can assume the lead driver role. Yeah, it's tricky. Lance has been in it now since he was about 17, and he's mid to early 20s now. So he's been around for a while. But has he learned enough from Vettel and like Bottas and whomever? Anyway, he didn't partner Bottas. It was I've forgotten who he partnered in Williams. What was it? I can't remember who he partnered in Williams, but does he have the skill set to take Aston Martin forwards? And it's great to see you, Ziggy. And he says he's looking forward to our race later on. Me too. It's going to be chaos.
I'm gonna say that it doesn't look much difference between the two Hasses right now.
I spotted that exactly as you started saying it.
It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Joe came in with a good time.
The track right now is rubbering in quite a lot because we've had wet FP3. So you have to be on track at the end to get the best time. So times are gonna fall. I mean, Max got a 19.0 in his first lap, so I'm not going to be surprised we're in the 17s by the time we reach Q3.
Latifi just beat Bottas.
Example A.
That doesn't make much sense, does it?
Yeah. Well, Vettel just got a 19.2. So where's that put in?
Albon, Bottas, Ocon, Ricciardo and Tsunoda at risk. Damn.
So kind of like the usual crew, although I'm not sure Ocon deserves to be in there. All those, 4 of those 5 are on out laps.
I don't think Bottas, Ocon or Ricciardo could be down there.
We shall see. We shall see. It's Albon that I'm worried about because he's not on an out lap and he only got just under 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Pedro says, Latifi is far from safe at that time. Yeah, he's literally, as Crofty would say, on the bubble.
Yeah.
Hamilton, purple sector 1. Oh yeah, so yeah, it was Fernando's birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday for yesterday. You know, obviously Alonso retired and then came back. I don't see Seb doing that. I feel like it's it. His F1. I don't think he'd come back in a couple of years.
I have learned not to try and judge things like this. There have been many drivers over the years that have gone for a sabbatical. So, Lauda and Prost both retired, come back and won the championship. Mansell won the championship, retired, came back in the end of 94, then again for 95. Whereas people like Mika Hakkinen won 2 titles, came back carried on for a couple of years, went for a sabbatical and never came back. So I would imagine if Vettel was offered a drive with Red Bull or Mercedes next year, he might suddenly appear, but
maybe
we'll see.
I think he still could win races if he had the proper machinery underneath him.
Yeah. Right. Time is up for Q1. drivers at the back. 2 Williams, 2 Aston and Sonoda at the moment. Albon is on track. Will he get out of the drop zone? No.
No.
Good effort, but that Williams is around here showing its low downforce.
Why did Latifi had a purple sector 1?
Sector 1 is very, very short. And if you probably what happens, inexperienced drivers will nuke the tyres in sector 1 and 2 and have nothing left for sector 3.
True.
Okay. So, Latifi, Gasly, which is a shocker again. Vettel, Albon, and Sonoda, and Sonoda, Albon, and Vettel almost identical times. And Checo squeaks through in P13. He's not looking good.
Yeah.
He's 3/4 of a second down on Hamilton. Where's that time come from the Mercedes?
Oh.
I'm quite impressed with the top 7. Hamilton, Russell, Sainz, Verstappen, Norris, Alonso, and Ricciardo.
Yeah. Leclerc though, P8.
But Pedro asks, do you reckon that Seb can do a move like Schumacher did when he joined Mercedes? So I presume you mean have 2 years retired, a bit like Alonso, and come back into a top team? What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like, well, especially from his retirement message, I think he just wants some time to chill. So maybe if he has that time with his family, I don't know, it might give him
I've had enough of the family.
motivation, yeah, to go for it again. But he definitely needs like a good team. Gives him the proper machinery. I feel like he's kind of like Alonso. He could go back into it and probably win races. Just yeah, I don't know.
It would need to be worth his time, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But then again, it's like, do you just give the younger talent a chance? Because obviously you'll be holding out for him to come back.
My only problem with Seb is, I think he's an epically talented driver. But the more he spends at the back of the grid and after his Ferrari stint, the less I'm worried about him actually being in the sport, because he was absolutely epic in that Red Bull when it suited him, as in when the car suited him. As soon as it doesn't, he can't seem to extract amazing performances like he used to.
No.
Me saying past his prime is not accurate. I just feel like the rule set doesn't fit his driving style.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it from 2017 onwards. He started to be known as Spinettel. It does seem that ever since the wide cars have been involved, he hasn't consistently managed to be there.
Yeah.
Although, as Pedro says, he saw this today and it could make sense, especially if the German brands join F1 in the future. I can imagine Vettel being involved, a bit like a Schumacher project, with Audi, Volkswagen and all that.
Yeah.
At least as a consultant or something.
Yeah, it could be good.
So Latifi nearly got into Q2. He's suddenly come alive in the last few races, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I think he knows he's driving for his F1 career.
Oh, I think he probably does know.
Mm.
Talking about the German brands, what do you make of Porsche buying 50% of Red Bull? Going to buy.
I'm not sure. I'm
Me too.
I'm still formulating an opinion on it. It's
Watched another podcast earlier saying that obviously because they're gonna bring this 50% in. Do you reckon that they'd want to bring a driver in? Like,
into Red Bull.
yeah, because they're bringing the money.
Possibly, it could happen, but which would then create the problem of why is there even AlphaTauri? Why is it a Red Bull driver academy?
I'm just surprised. Why have they gone for Red Bull, such an established team? Like, why didn't they go for one that they could have maybe helped develop?
It's tricky with F1. I mean, ideally, like you, I'd be thinking, yeah, let's build a team up from scratch. Let's go from there. But to start your own team, you have to put up $200 million.
Yeah, I mean, financially, it probably makes sense for them to just put their feet in a little bit. It's like, oh, why Red Bull? I'm a big Porsche fan, and it's like, I don't want to be a Red Bull fan.
I don't want to be Red Bull Porsche.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I like Porsche, and it's like, I'm conflicted. I'm like, I don't want to be a Red Bull fan.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm kind of glad you're conflicted as well, because it's how I feel. So, I think it's good for Red Bull fans. I'm not sure it's fantastic for Porsche fans, or Porsche, depending on your point of view.
It's not. Really not.
Yeah, it feels like they want a quick route to success, and buying into a top team straight away feels like what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm. How do I say this? I'm a bit split on it. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm splitting it as well. But I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I like Red Bull, but I'm not necessarily. I would not categorize myself as a Red Bull fan.
Yeah, same.
Because I feel like some of their way they deal with things, and Christian Horner completely just no.
Karen Horner. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but I like Porsche. It's like, don't know. See how it goes.
My question is, why do Red Bull need them?
Exactly, that's what I thought. Like, at the moment, they're probably the best team on the grid, like car-wise. But why do they need this? Someone to come in and take 50%?
Yeah. The only thing I can think is maybe they are setting up the foundations for leaving the sport as a independent manufacturer. Like, they could just be there in name only. Because Dietrich Mateschitz, he's aging now. So is Helmut Marko. All the top brass are in the 60s, 70s, and heading towards their 80s rather rapidly. Maybe they're thinking exit strategy. So, who knows?
Yeah, like Pedro just said, I know that Porsche, I think one of the leading teams that have already kind of got a plan in place for next set of regulations, and they've kind of, I think it's an engine, or they've come up with some sort of fuel thing that's quite, I don't know.
Could be that.
It's supposed to be quite good for when the regulations do come in. It's like, I don't know, why Red Bull? Then again, like, you look at the grid and it's like, I don't know what team they could have really took over in a sense, because they're all established names. You're not going to see Mercedes just go, oh yeah, we're going to partner with Porsche.
Yeah, to the two German competing brands. No.
It's like, I know that Audi wanted to come in, but McLaren said straight up no.
Which is worth saying. Audi, Porsche, and Volkswagen are basically the same thing under different, the same umbrella. Yes, and McLaren are right. You were right. McLaren have basically said no,
Yeah,
which is interesting, I think.
it is.
Edra did say, imagine a McLaren-Porsche partnership. That did actually happen in the 90s or in the 80s. There was a Porsche-powered McLaren at some point. I'm not sure if it was raced, but it was at very least tested. But you can't quote me on that one because it has happened. But then again, we've also had a McLaren Honda that went very well.
Mhm.
Yeah, and yeah, I think it's aimed at 2026, but I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
Red Bull aren't.
It's gonna do nothing to
Hmm.
the budget. If they still can't spend on the car using the money. I don't know why they needed the money now. And they needed the partnership now.
Maybe it is just setting up for 2026. I mean, you can spend as much money as you want on your facilities. Maybe that's
I
what
thought
it's about.
Honda was gonna stay in for a couple more years. Now
It,
that they're doing okay.
it, officially, it's no longer a Honda. It's just, I think, like the best way to put it is a Red Bull Hey Honda to maintain the engines sort of kind of deal. It's more like a. It's not a partnership anymore. It's more like an employed, paid system with
Yeah.
Red Bull building their powertrains department. So I don't know. Maybe it's something weird going on there, but I don't know. There's something a lot more than what we're privy to.
Could you also kind of, I don't know, is it a sense of pride from these big names? That they're like, no, we can't take anyone else on, like, obviously, like McLaren and Audi. And big
McLaren
teams like Mercedes and all of that.
and Mercedes don't need anyone else. They've got enough finance backing. They do not need anyone else. And they've got Petronas as their partner.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like you think of these big teams, obviously, they're big car manufacturers like McLaren, Ferrari.
I think McLaren got burned with Honda 2015 through 17. I went, no, we're not doing it again.
Yeah.
I would think McLaren are happy just to be supplied by Mercedes. That's my point.
Maybe not. Maybe not this year.
Yeah, it's not ideal this year, but at least it's reliable
Yeah, exactly.
for the most part. I mean, I'm actually quite surprised by the overall reliability of anything that isn't a Ferrari. Also, we had the double DNF from Red Bull at the beginning of the year, but ever since then they've been pretty damn good. So, you know.
Yeah. Well, you've got to remember Verstappen basically survived the British GP with a hole in his side. Oh no, was it a bit of carbon stuck somewhere?
I'm trying to remember what you're referring to. I can't remember it.
You know that we saw the Mick and Max.
Oh, yeah.
He was so far down.
Pulled out a bit of AlphaTauri from underneath the car, didn't
Yeah.
they? Yeah. I've
That was
forgotten about
funny. That it was an AlphaTauri.
Yeah. Of all things, it was Gasly and Tsunoda coming together that caused
Yeah.
Verstappen's problem. So, back to qualifying, because we've been coming talking politics for the last 20 minutes.
Oof, Alonso.
Those McLarens are looking good. Hang on, Alonso, what's he doing up there? And we are in the
Exactly,
17.
it's like, oh,
We are in the 17s already. We're just sitting in on board of Checo, and he's going to come right up behind. Oh, track limits is going to be a problem here.
ooh.
I didn't even think he went that wide.
That, yeah.
He's on the white line.
Yeah, it was like a fraction, wasn't it? Like a tiny, tiny bit.
I'm going to talk politics for a very brief second. This is the problem for new viewers. They're going to come in and go, well, that's clearly off the track, but people have been around watching this a while and say he's on the white line. But is he on the white line, over the white line? It's not easy for new viewers to come in and just watch.
No.
But we're going to be talking track limits probably to the end of time when it comes to this sport.
True.
Until they put a landmine on the outside and go, that's out. They're not.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, boom. Right, they're out. Drivers wouldn't go anywhere near those limits, would they?
No.
I do. I'm glad we had this sort of very similar point of view on Red Bull Porsche, but we'll have to
Yeah,
wait and
just
see
to
how
see
that
how it
unfolds.
goes.
Yeah. I personally just want to see more teams in F1. I mean, I want to
Yeah,
see the
true.
Andretti team.
Yeah. I think it would be good to have more teams. I don't know, maybe in the future when, I don't know, Porsche get, I don't know, get the information in a way from Red Bull. Maybe they can start their own one with Audi, Volkswagen
What
to come together because they're basically the same company anyway.
that that's the tricky thing with the F1 political structure. If Porsche, whoever you want to say it, enter F1 as a powertrain developer, they are not allowed to share data with Audi and whatnot. But
Mm.
if you have people transfer between the various teams, oh no, look what I know. It's how can you police
Yeah.
that? I mean, if it was me in the FIA, I would say you're allowed to be in or have one team under your political structure.
Mm.
So you couldn't have Ferrari and Fiat because Fiat own Ferrari. You couldn't have. I'm trying to think of other brands that are linked together.
Yeah.
Nissan and Infiniti. Those sort of
Mm.
brands. So I don't know. It's that is really tricky because it will probably happen. Go ahead.
So say what's happening to the Ferraris this weekend? But then I said they're on green laps, but I don't know. They're just not gone very high so far.
Watch out for Q3. Keep an eye out for Q3. I'm quite impressed by the speed of the Mercs and McLarens at the moment.
Yeah.
We'll see what the Ferrari can do.
Oh,
There
I
he is.
changed my mind. Yeah.
There he is. P2 for Leclerc. And Sainz comes around the corner. There or thereabouts. Ooh.
Drops of rain.
Drops of rain. Ooh. Drops of rain aren't a problem. Lots of drops of rain are a problem.
Yeah.
Those clouds do look black, don't they?
Mm.
Ooh. So Perez is barely into the top 10. He's on a lap now, but he's got to be used so many tires just to get through to Q1. Q3.
Yeah.
And he's caught a second down in sector 1.
Oh.
He's not having a good one. You can see the traffic. Cars everywhere on the
Yeah.
circuit. Historically speaking, British drivers tend to go very well around this track. So I am expecting something from Hamilton today. Maybe Russell. Didn't realise Stroll actually got through into Q2. So I
I
saw a
think he
green.
got 15th.
I saw a green car. Thought, that's not Stroll. He was out in Q1. Oh, hang on a minute, there he is.
Mm.
Right, my guess for losing drives in this one are going to be the two Haas,
Yep.
the two Alfa Romeo Saubers,
Mm-hmm.
and that top 10 looks close. Oh god, Ocon, no, Stroll. Hang on, the two Haas,
Mm.
the two Saubers, and Stroll.
Yeah.
Because I can't see any of the Red Bulls, the Ferraris, the Mercs, or the McLarens being knocked out at the moment.
No, they seem strong. Well, I guess we have to see what time Ocon and Bottas put in.
In the first sort of quarter of this season, Bottas was immense. He's kind of been quiet for the last 3 or 4 races, hasn't he?
Yeah.
It's like that Alfa Romeo, historically they don't develop a car very well. And they tend to move towards the back as the year goes on. I get the feeling that's what's happening.
That. Yeah.
Mm. Okay, that's Stroll gone then.
Yep.
Good effort from Stroll, but there's only so much speed in that Aston Martin and Stroll.
True.
Looks like K-Mag is going to go as well. It's only just under 2 tenths away from the drop zone. Or into it. I'm more interested to see the difference between the two Haas drivers. So I think we can honestly say in the last few races, Mick has picked up his game a lot. And matching the pace of K-Mag. So it's going to be a fairly decent comparison.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't put the upgrades on Mix, to be fair.
Yeah, I was actually. Maybe they're just picking the most experienced driver.
Yeah. No, Danny, come on.
Oh! Perez is gone! Perez is gone. He's out. He's in the pits. Well.
Where's Danny going slow?
Danny in 10th as well. You might. Oh no, Danny's still out on track.
But he was going really slow in that first sector.
Well, the only ones who can beat him now are the two Haas drivers. Well, there's a lot of commitment from Danny into that last corner, though.
Come on, Danny.
Danny.
Yeah.
Well. Perez is gone.
Yeah, definitely not.
Shocker.
Definitely not his day today.
No. 71 thousandths. Eliminated by Bottas. So what happened to Perez? Did he have traffic? Did he lock up? He's claiming traffic, but this track is horrible for traffic.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got past Magnussen, he's got a Ferrari in front of him.
So the upgrades that they bought didn't get him into Q3 though.
No, but he's about 3 and a bit tenths ahead of Mick. Okay.
I think. Was it worth it? I don't know. I think we'll have to see that tomorrow. If they're worth it. Maybe it might bring him a little bit of race pace. I don't know.
We'll see tomorrow. Well, if he has a opening lap like he did in Paul Ricard, he'll be somewhere around 5th by the end of the first lap. Yeah,
I am quite happy that Danny's in the top 10 because I feel like he needed to get into Q3.
Yeah. He also needs to out-qualify Lando.
Yeah.
Whereas Lando is...
He seems quite strong today on this track.
Lando's just not having off days anymore. And even if he does have an off day, he's still ahead of Danny.
Well, that proved when he had tonsillitis, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was still out there beating Danny.
Didn't he lap him that weekend? Or was it at Monaco? It doesn't really matter. But
Sure.
it says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We can go back to arguing that the car suits Lando's driving style a lot more. But after 2 years of being in that car, it's not looking great for Danny. But today's looking better.
Looking back at last season, do you reckon he was very, very lucky to get that win?
Yes.
Because I feel like if it was this year, I think McLaren might have just said Lando pass him. I don't know why. I just felt like they wanted to do it as like a boost for him. Like, 'cause from what I remember, Lando was moaning that
He was quicker. That it
he
was
was
a bit
quicker.
quicker.
I think McLaren wanted that boost for Danny, but has it given him that boost? I don't know. A bit of a while ago, I think that probably's worn off.
It's an interesting theory. It's a very interesting theory. It's not one I'd thought of. I'm not going to
I
touch
still
it
think that. Sorry, I still think that. I don't know. Lando's not gonna win
with McLaren.
with that McLaren this year.
No.
He might get like a. We don't know. The drivers in the top spots could, I don't know, have a really bad weekend, but I don't know. I think one of the WTF1 guys said that they don't see him winning a world championship with McLaren anytime soon. I don't know. I'm starting to think that as well, but depends if McLaren pick up their game next year.
Based on the performance this year, I would be agreeing with that statement. Although I'm going to say McLaren were hit very, very hard with the pandemic, and they are, with all things considered, I think they're doing very well, and they were lucky last year to get that win. But they're reinvesting, they're building a new wind tunnel, which was due to be completed this year, but because of the pandemic, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Lando's got a multi-year deal with McLaren. He obviously knows something about the development path of that car and the group as a whole. He's young enough to stick it out. I mean, he's not like Ricciardo, who is now 35, 36, 34. But for an F1 driver, he is mature. He has to be in the top team now. So I'm more worried about Daniel's career at McLaren rather than Lando. So we'll see. There's a very orange start-finish line there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Look at all those Lando fans. There's a lot of stories going on in Formula 1 at the moment, sort of with teams and all that, isn't there? It's so politically, it's so very active at the moment, with the German teams coming in, driver market being in flux, Vettel retiring, I don't know, Drive to Survive in general.
Yeah.
Alright, who's getting pole here?
I reckon maybe Max.
Yeah, hands down, I think.
Know.
To me, it's hands down, it's Max. Alright. Second and third.
Don't know. Leclerc picked up quite quickly in that second one, so maybe Leclerc.
Is that a question or is that an answer?
I don't know. No, he's definitely. I don't think he's got pole.
I would be agreeing with you.
He's second or third.
And the other one?
Maybe Hamilton?
Yeah, maybe. That's exactly what I was thinking. I think you can interchange Hamilton and Russell. I do think Hamilton's got the pace on Russell, particularly at the moment. But it's not by much. It depends on who gets a good lap.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember there being a directive this or last year saying that teams couldn't bring their gigantic motorhomes to the Grand Prix anymore. I've just seen out the back. They're all there. Maybe that was a pandemic thing.
Maybe.
I think we're in for definitely another Red Bull pole. Max at the
Yeah.
moment, his performance is such a standard. It's unreal, isn't it?
Mm.
But did you see? There was I think it was on TikTok earlier on. Johnny Herbert said something quite amusing in reference to Charles and Max fighting on track all the time, but they're showing each other such respect, and it's really good to see.
Yeah.
Johnny Herbert said, "Well, could have done that last year as well."
True. True.
But the theory being that because not because Max grew up with Charles and has raced him many times to show each other respect, but the other theory being that Max was deliberately elbowy with Lewis because of it was Lewis to show him.
Yeah.
I completely get it.
I get it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at it.
Yeah, somewhat of a I'm the new alpha. Oi.
Do you reckon it's because Max knows that he's got that edge on Charles? They can fight, give respect, but I don't know. In a way, he's gonna come out on top.
Possibly. It's definitely a possibility.
But like you say, like last year he had to. Not always. He not always did it in the best way, but he had to try and beat the
7-time champion.
the greatest one driver on
Yeah.
the grid.
As he doesn't need to do. I think it's more need. He doesn't need to do that with Charles.
No.
Yeah, 'cause
Is it too early to say that he's gonna get it again this year?
no. Not at all. He's at the biggest. The gap between Max and Charles has never been bigger. There's never been a bigger gap overturned. So, you know.
I think everyone would have liked to see Leclerc get
Yeah.
it, but I just don't know. I think. Yeah.
Based on performances, he's not consistent enough. You only have to look at last weekend to see it, don't you? And speaking of, Leclerc coming out of turn 1 there, almost sideways on the power.
I'm back.
No worries.
His mum going, Sarah. And I'm like, what?
Sod off!
Start off. Give me 10 minutes.
You're surprised how often that happens to me as well. I don't usually get called Sarah though. Personal opinion, Bottas and Ocon will be 9th and 10th. But I don't know where any of the next...
Yeah, it's a bit of a...
Those McLarens and Alonso and Mercs can somewhat interchange. Although I do think Hamilton's going to squeak into the top 3. It just depends on what the Ferraris do. Leclerc, that's not a great time of 17.9. Nor was that from
Mine's
Norris.
look pretty fast.
I think they're all using used soft tyres. Sainz,
Oh.
yeah, is quick. Ooh. Okay, he's coming out of nowhere, somewhat. And Medrin mentions the stat, which I've heard as well. If Charles were to win all of the remaining Grand Prix, Max only needs to finish second in every single one to still be champion.
I mean, I think, what's the saying, that we're all Ferrari fans. I think we all would have probably liked or preferred maybe Leclerc get it this year, but like we're saying, Max is just performing at a different level. I think at this point.
Yeah, that's right. I just spotted on track. Verstappen had a horrible lap. Oh, okay. So
Oh, yeah.
he's locked up going into turn 2. Whoops.
Mm.
I was watching through the final corner. I think he's not even trying. No, he genuinely was nowhere near the outside of the track.
Mm.
Oh, has Hamilton had his time deleted? No, not quite.
It's closer, I think.
I didn't think Sainz was going to be a factor today. That's a quick lap from Carlos.
Yeah.
Pedro thinks Lewis's time might get deleted.
I think that's what they were discussing, that the overhead camera's a bit hard to call it.
Depends if they got strict or normal track limits
I
on.
get this part where everyone goes back in. And then, like, they'll all come out at the same time, won't they?
And all trip over each other. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's where Formula One's been for decades. They all want to be on the track at the last minute when the track is potentially at its best. Whereas sometimes it's worth just going out and free track. Pedro saying, where did Mert find all this pace? Well, looking at this in Q3, I'm not seeing it. But in Q2, they look much more threatening. I'm a little bit disappointed in Lando's, Max's and Danny's laps so far.
Mm.
But they're all been going out on fresh, soft tyres, I hope. And
I think
doing
Merc
representative
is,
laps.
from what we've seen, it's a very consistent car currently. But, I don't know, definitely not maybe a winning car yet.
It has good race pace at least.
Yeah. So if the Red Bulls, both Red Bulls and both Ferraris got very unlucky, then maybe it might be a winning car.
We need.
It seems very consistent.
So what you're saying is we need Bottas to start 5th, it to be a wet start, and bowling into the first corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly that.
We need. Right. So this is our dream scenario, in any order. So Max, Perez, Sainz, and Leclerc, top 4 with Bottas on a wet track starting 5th.
Yeah, maybe just kind of, I don't know, maybe miss Leclerc. Give him a chance.
Let him catch up in the championship a little bit.
Yeah.
Give Max the Bottas handicap.
Yeah.
That's worth saying. Alpine, 2 cars in the top 10.
That's pretty good for them.
They've definitely showed, since the opening rounds, a lot of improvement. I'm genuinely, massively surprised with Alpine.
Hmm.
I still want to call them Renault, though.
Yeah. I found a Renault hat in TK Maxx the other day.
No way.
A Renault F1 hat with Danny Rick's number, and I was like, I'm buying that. That's going straight in my basket.
Nice. I don't think he'll sign it now, though.
No. To be fair though, for a it was old F1 hat, it was only $12.99, so I thought it was pretty good.
I'll give you that.
Official.
Mm.
Oh, it's stuff, and I was like, oh, I'm having that, not letting that go.
Oh.
Oh, the little car.
Yeah, young F1 Red Bull fan. Sheep.
Yeah, get rid of the Red Bull car, get a different car.
Yeah.
Then you'll be fine.
Okay, here we are, winding up for the final lap sprints. Oh, Max is having some power unit issues. He's coming across all Honda.
Mm. It probably sounds like I'm like really against Red Bull. I'm not. I like the drivers. I don't know.
It's a dominant Red Bull team. Is a little bit boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we'll say we're
I
pro
have nothing
competition.
against the drivers.
Yeah, we're pro competition.
Yeah.
Right, so Leclerc finally gets out of out of turn 1, turn 2, not sideways, so can he get it onto the front row of the grid? Purple. Purple sector 1.
Oh.
Signs. Ooh. But are his eyes going to be intact by the time he reaches sector 3? Leclerc's lost a bit of time in the middle sector. 2 signs. So what is Sainz going to do in sector 2? He's still no. He's had a slightly worse sector. What does Leclerc do in the final sector? No, it's P2 currently. Where's Max going to start? Where is Max?
Oh, P10 at the moment.
They're not even showing his time. Sainz goes quicker.
Yeah, come on.
Right, where are the Mercs? Right, where are the Mercs, McLarens, and Verstappen?
Oh.
Norris P3. Right, where are the Mercs? Where are the Mercs? Oh. Verstappen swearing. That means he's out.
Bleep, bleep, bleep.
P10 for Max. Holy crap. Hey, we've got Cass in the chat. Good to see you, buddy. Russell!
Oh.
Where did that come from?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Where's Hamilton? In pit. Hamilton's in the pit. What the hell?
What the hell? Where did that come from? What?
Didn't I say British drivers tend to go quite well around here?
What the hell?
George, where did you do that? How?
Yeah, where did that come from? What?
What the hell?
I'm speechless. What the hell?
George, for victory tomorrow. I'm going to put a bet on.
Maybe I was wrong about the Mercedes. I'm sorry.
We thought they might be good for P2 at best, but where the hell did that come from?
Jesus.
Shocker. Max P10. Checo P11. I mean, I don't think it's championship back on or anything, but because Max will work his way back up. But what the actual hell?
Apparently our reactions were like
They were.
at the same time.
They were.
That's a definite clip. Oh, I mean, his title Mr. Saturday is still going strong.
Well, he doesn't have Latifi to battle anymore, but you know when you get a result you just did not expect?
Yeah.
This.
Yeah. That was it. That was.
Oh, Mr. Smug
What?
Toto. Where did that come from? Okay, looking forward to the race. The Mercedes pace has been good race pace all year. This looks promising for the Mercedes boys.
It
Look,
does.
Hamilton, he's what, seventh, eighth?
Hmm. Damn.
And Ocon's got Alonso as well. So anything we predicted is basically gone.
Yeah. I couldn't have predicted that.
Uh, it would have been interesting to see what Max could have done on a clean
Mm.
lap. But if he's got severe problems, I mean, we could be looking at grid drops for Max.
Actually, yeah.
That is fascinating for the Grand Prix.
What?
Pedro says, will George be able to get his first win? He hopes that he doesn't do a Lando at Sochi. Oh, no, that's cursed it.
I don't know. I don't know.
What's the...
He's got both Ferraris behind him. Maybe. Maybe.
I'm having a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. Oh.
Oh.
Hold on. Okay, no, it should be dry.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a dry race tomorrow. It's alright. Stunning performance from Carlos as well, actually.
Yeah, I thought he had it until that last bit.
Apparently, it may be a wet start to the race. Pedro's already been looking it up. But it should be dry during the race. Well, we know George is very good under pressure, like defensive driving. So this is a track where it's very hard to pass. This could get interesting.
It's good.
And as Cass says, anything can happen there. Yeah? You can hear the crowd are cheering like mad at that one. Looks very happy with himself. Quite rightly.
Before the start of the season, I did think, I was like, was that George the right decision for Mercedes? But I think he definitely stepped up. I think it was probably one of the best decisions Mercedes could have done.
I think long term, compared to Bottas, yes. Maybe not for this exact year, up till now. He has been very consistent. He hasn't been the fastest, but looking long term, he is the better decision over Bottas. So he's starting to prove it.
And I agree.
It shows you the height of Russell there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that big smile. He's going to be quite happy with himself. Well, that is... If I was to pick an ideal sort of top three, it'd probably be those three. So that's worked out nicely.
Yeah.
I mean, all three of them are quite popular.
And Lando's just behind them.
He is. Okay, so we've got a very interesting grid for tomorrow. Right,
Yeah.
so we do not want Bottas bowling tomorrow.
So, go bowling tonight, Bottas.
Yeah,
Get out of your system.
exactly. Right. I'm not really sure where to take that anymore, because
Yeah, no. Whoa.
the track itself may not be the best track in the world, but we're qualifying set up for a very interesting race, or at least an interesting outcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Surprised about the Red Bulls. Jeez.
yeah. What is fascinating about this track is that, as I alluded to, Brits seem to do well here, and a lot of Brits have got their first win around here. Like Jenson Button got his first win in 2006, Damon Hill in 93. Hamilton has won round here a silly amount of times, but he got his only win in 2009 round here. There's something about this track and Brits. I
Touch
swear.
wood. They do well tomorrow.
Okay.
I forgot that Ocon won this one last year.
He did. But that's because he
I
had
don't think
Alonso driving a double wide car, stopping Hamilton getting through.
Oh yeah. Mm.
And then Vettel got demoted or disqualified from P2, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Race tomorrow. We're on for a good one, aren't we?
Well, judging by today, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? One thing I really want to see right now is Matty from WTF1. I want to see his reaction to Russell going P1. I really want to see that. That's probably all over Twitter already.
Probably. I mean, would he be happy or sad because he's near Leclerc?
He'd be sad for Leclerc, happy for Russell.
Yeah. I like his reaction from last week.
He just sort of crawled under the desk and started
Yeah,
screaming.
and then it just all you hear "Rah!" in the background.
And then you got Tommy on the other side just cracking up.
Yeah.
Oh dear. It's with reactions like that you got to see the point reaction videos. They're just quite funny. It's like your one with signs on fire.
And judging by today, we did it at the same time. We did the same thing.
Yeah, we did. We both put our hands on our head. I went boom like that, and then as soon as I looked
Yeah, like,
over, you were doing the same thing. Like, oh. Oh, good timing. Good times. Right. There's not really much more to say other than that was good.
Yeah, that was good.
I am curious about I want to know what went wrong with that Honda engine, and if he's going to get any
Apparently-
penalties tomorrow.
I saw that the DRS wasn't fully working or something as well.
Oh, as well.
Again. I don't know if that was the main problem or it was as well.
I definitely heard them say fail Sangarada, which always means they're turning off sensors in the engine. And what tends to happen is the sensor goes wrong and the engine's actually fine.
Yeah.
So I am wondering if that's a Honda power unit failing, component failure of some sort. Russell on pole. We just said.
Yeah. Oh.
So now we're seeing the lap. Let's just go with it.
Yeah.
A little kick of oversteer coming out of turn 1, like mild. He's actually made the apex, unlike Max on these other laps. The car in front of him. That's Max.
That was Max.
Beautiful into that left. I hate that
Ooh.
left-hander. I hate this right-hander too.
Other car.
Well Ventrette, that was Lewis. Beautiful over the curbs. Left, right.
Nice.
Nice and smooth, nice and smooth.
Nice.
Doesn't look spectacularly fast, it's just good everywhere.
Yeah. No track limits, nothing like that.
Yeah, he's nowhere near the white lines. He's got loads of turn in with the final corner. Straight
Yeah.
up and gone.
That's decent.
Simple. Cass says, is the car in one piece? Which car? Or Max? I suspect it will be taken apart tonight and worked on.
Good luck. Gotta give it to him, that was a good luck.
I am somewhat surprised at Lewis though. Where was he in that Q3? Like
Yeah.
P7, P8? Okay. Well, we're on for a good race.
We are.
And for those that are about tonight, pre-GP, about 10 o'clock tonight, give or take. Our timing sort of varies depending on our organisational skills. Yeah, that'll be fun. The good news is about this circuit, there's very little to hit in terms of barriers. Cass says, who was it that had you both reacting in sync? It was Russell, yeah.
We were just we were just so surprised by that white pole came out of nowhere.
Just in the middle of claiming, yeah, it's a signed pole. I mean, it's well, Russell. Bing. What?
Yeah, it's like whoa.
Oh dear. Right. Any points you want to add on?
To be fair, it's quite a decent top 10. I say decent. Red Bull nowhere near the front. That's good.
We don't hate Red Bull. We like all teams equally. Ish.
Really, yeah.
Ish.
But yeah, it was surprising that George right at the end did that. Other than that, I suppose I don't know if it was surprising that some of the teams didn't get into the Q3. I think we kind of all predicted the teams that went out.
It was there or thereabouts, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty good. It was pretty good. And you?
Yeah, I mean, I can't agree more. It's a shame. I was just thinking Sebastian Vettel. Now it's his retirement. He's out in Q1. But to be fair, he was lucky to get into Q1 with the damage he had with the car. Yeah, I mean, it's a very young top three with Sainz, Russell and Leclerc. I can only think this is good for the sport. And we're going to have to see people like Hamilton, Verstappen and Perez come through the field tomorrow.
Yeah.
I suppose we've got Norris fourth as well. So a very young top of the grid. I think that's more interesting than anything else.
Yeah. I hope that... I don't mean to be like thingy, but I hope the drivers don't make it easy.
Yeah. Yeah. If we see Max come through and win by a country mile, I'm going to be very disappointed tomorrow.
Yeah. Like, I hope... Obviously the respect is there, but I hope they don't make it, like, too easy.
We shall see. No Bottas bowling tomorrow, please.
Yeah.
If it starts wet, and I'm just going to be... If it starts wet, Pedro, you have to get on your app and go and record Bottas's start. Just in case. Just in case.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Good Grand Prix for tomorrow. So, alright, I'll just take this opportunity to say, yep, come and join us for the pre-GP tonight. It's going to be a full-length Grand Prix featuring our usual crew. And I'm going to try and make it round without being lapped twice. I can't drive this course at all. So that would be fun.
Just looking at this side by side, Russell was pretty spot on. Carlos missed a couple of apexes.
Pedro's asking me to repeat things. The problem is I don't remember what I say.
Yeah.
Whoop, gone.
Oh.
Russell and Sainz so very close together on this
Yeah.
replay. Sainz gets a little bit of a kick of understeer. Was it oversteer kick? No, it's like, oh, he had a bit of oversteer kick, sorry.
Oh yeah.
And that's where Sainz lost it. Oh, yeah, Pedro said, yeah, you need to go on board with Bottas's start tomorrow if it's a wet Grand Prix and record it, in case he goes bowling again.
Yeah. All we can hope is that Bottas gets his bowling out of the way.
Bowling Bottas.
Yeah, bowling Bottas.
That's right.
I was going to say, I hope the bowling gets his Bottas out
Alright,
of the way.
well, it's now synonymous with Mr. Bowling Bottas. Right, I'm going to say we should leave that there. We've got some things to go and deal with and whatnot, so it's been fun. So thank you for joining me, Sarah, on this one.
Thank you for having me.
And
It's been fun.
always is. And to Pedro, Cass, and everyone else who has been in the chat and watching. If you like what you see, feel free to give us a follow. Check out Miss Hawkie as well. No, that side. High five, Miss Hawkie.
Where do we have to go?
Not that one. Other one.
Oh,
That one. 1, 2, 3. Close enough.
You have to do.
Close enough. Boltry Bottas. Nice one, Pedro. I like it. Boltry Bottas. Right.
Valtteri Bottas.
Alright. Sue's out there that we can give a raid. We have Koulios is out there. Let's give him a raid. He's a young little gent who is trying to move forward and build up a good community and trying to give him a bit of support. So let's go and raid him. And on that note, I can say thank you to everybody. Again, thank you, Sarah, and see you tonight, hopefully for the pre-GP, and then tomorrow for the race.
Yeah.
It's been fun, so catch you later.